I don't know.
Jane.
That's good. Slippery Jane. Okay, this is great. All right, Slippery Dick. It's no Moby, my friends. Just some shrimp-sucking Pensacola player, layered in cream and shaking that purple stripe all over June's new moon reef tide party. Going great lengths to breed, they'll even flip their sex. Though the terminal male gets the best tail. If you're gonna mate, old Professor Love joked, don't do it half-rass. That's just like love, to humor necessity. This dick reaches 12 inches, guidebooks say, but most, Love admits, are only half that size. Milton Love. That's science. That's science. Okay. I can't, yeah. All right. I better leave sex and... What's that? You can grow, yes. Anybody need a cigarette? No. Well, let's stick with fish. I think I'm going to go to a safer topic. Okay. I like eating fish. Some of you, how many of you really enjoy eating fish? A lot of you do. Okay, yeah. And, in small fish, you can actually eat the whole fish. You can eat the fins and the head. It's done in the East quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, smelt, of course, right. That's traditional American. You can fry the whole thing. Is it? Anchovies, absolutely. Sushi? Well, you don't eat the whole fish. I'm talking about everything, the sardines, but the fins. And if you fry small fish, like a smelt, the fins become very crispy, and I think very delicious. But again, you have to be a piscivore, I think, probably to fully appreciate this. And so I went to school in Indiana and fished wherever I go. And there was a white bass, a silver bass sometimes called, that would come up the rivers and stop, like many fish, at a dam. But they were abundant. And we were, in fact, deep frying these things and eating the whole thing. And I was eating the fins and meditating on the nature of eating a fin in the face of a very large hydroelectric dam. When the dam went up, we all got rich on water skis and worms. Light bills so low we could drink till dawn. A lake, a reservoir, deeper than hell and named for a president. Look how them silvers love the spillway. Drive 100 miles on sex. Bubble high, nose to the concrete. Schools so thick, every cast's a fish. Out of the white bucket, scaled and gutted, the sweet bass bubble twist in the fried daddy's steel cage. Up on the plate with lemon and tartar, we eat. And when the soft white meat's gone, I eat the fins. Crunch 'em like gold chips, the salty, ridged remains of position and power. I love that, fish use those fins to stay in the current. And so, like all of us who write, you try to, you follow an image and just see where it takes you. Writing is so wonderful, isn't it, that way? The way, who else, why else would you think about these things, I suppose? Or why else would you continue the thought so extensively? Writing gives you kind of a place to go, It's making roads. It's wonderful. Okay. How are we doing on time? We kind of concluding here? I get excited, I lose track. That's so unprofessional of me. I should be an expert at this. I'll read a couple more.
You have time for a few more.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to you. I'm interested in you guys. No, I'm serious. I know about myself. Okay, well, let me read the poem that you very kindly printed on this broadsheet. It looks very handsome. That's a nice thing to do. Thank you. Taking off? All right. You got a party? You got to go on and get some grasshoppers? Okay, have a good night. Thanks for coming. Pond House. This is great. The Pond House. I thought it was just a name. Like those developments, Fox Acres, Marsh Springs. It's no marsh. They drain the marsh. But this is a real place. The Pond House has a real pond. It's right there. It's dark. I can see it. Oh, it is. There are fish in there. There's got to be some kind of fish in there, right? There's ducks, for sure. Geese.
I saw a fish in there one night.
Okay, tell me.
Poetry night about 2 years ago. I looked out the kitchen window and there was a fish about this long.
Okay.
Wow.
There has to be because the heron stand.
You bet.
and watch 'em play.
You bet. Yeah, I'm guessing a lot. Yeah, pike minnows. They can live in anything. Carp too. It'd be fun to know what that was exactly. Yeah, I wonder if any trout could survive in here. Think it's cold enough? No, huh? Pike minnows, yeah. Okay, can't say squawfish anymore. Okay.
You let us know when you're coming again, we'll stock it for you.
Yeah, I'd like that. Bring my fly rod. No, I love to fish, obviously. So this is a fishing poem, Steelhead Almost. I'm glad I chose this. I didn't take the pond house seriously. It's a house room. So I'm so great that there's a fish involved here. Oregon has wonderful steelhead fishing, as does Washington and the Northwest Coast. They're hard though. They're hard to catch. You can work hard all day casting, and you may get one or two shots at a fish. At least that's been my experience. There are golden days. Many days you get skunked. And so I let a lot of fish go, and when you catch wild steelhead, you have to let them go. But I also enjoy keeping a fish to eat, and especially if there's going to be a chance to barbecue it or smoke it. There's a ritual involved in eating fish that I really appreciate and enjoy. And so that kind of adds a little bit of that old, bring home the fish, bring home the meat. And it's a primitive notion of the hunter coming back with something. But even when I was a kid, I'd get home and, what did you catch? And open the cooler and, these were things we could eat. And it gave me an early sense, I think, of pride of actually, capturing something that was valuable. So this is called Steelhead Almost. Too dark to retie, they walk fishless over the bridge, break down rods and unboot for the dry drive home. Oh well, one man says, that's fishing. The other doesn't want to talk. There's a barbecue tomorrow. If you catch something, she said, that'd be wonderful. Following the headlights, he feels again that strike behind the stone. Cherry blushed chrome, leap silver and dive, then gone. Canyon pouring river, swallows spading air. The trees shrug as if nothing happened. In a hole deeper than sleep, the steelhead undulates, fragrance and flow, nudging forward, 3,000 orangey eggs in her bright sleeve. And they do, carry several thousand eggs. So I'll read one more. A new poem, and then please, we'll take some questions. This has been a very generous reading. Thanks for the time, too. I've been writing a lot lately. I feel very happy to be doing that. And I said, I've got to try out a new poem. And so, God, I'm trying to think, what would be the right poem for this crowd? Okay. Pressure's on. Well, yeah, this is something different. Maybe it's I joke about sex, and there are poems in here about relationships, but this book was written before I got married. No, really, I'm telling you the truth. And I have a really great wife, and I really enjoy my life, and it has changed, obviously, as it would. And so I'm writing different kinds of things about different kinds of relationship, and we made turkey soup, and so this is a turkey soup poem, and. It's called Hair and Bone. 3 days after Thanksgiving, we boiled the turkey, strained the broth, picked the clinging hot meat, added barley and watched it bubble. You chopped potatoes and carrots. I chopped celery and onions. We sprinkled peppercorn, bay leaf, and salt, stirring the pot, simmering, smelling, tasting, adjusting with a dash of salt. I took the pan-hearst carcass out to the trash and came back to a kitchen steaming, savory, and alive. Music, white wine, a call from the kids. Everybody's fine. And that night, we ladled out 2 big bowls, pulled bread from the oven, sat and ate our, oh, this is good. This is delicious. We talked and spooned until, oh, a bone poked your gum. And oops, I pulled a long, dark hair. It's fine. It's nothing. And to this day, I want to taste the time of that terrific turkey soup we made, even with the dreadful hair and bone. The anything left of us after this holiday of living with you is over. Thank you so much. very kind of you. Thank you. There's a note here. Speakers, please place your water cups and stuff in slots below, not on mantelpiece. Very strict, very serious note. or on window box. How about mantel? I should have.
It was probably dry.
I am so sorry. I didn't read the note. So we've got some talk to me. Questions, comments? What are you thinking about?
So you said you're writing a lot lately. What are you doing now? What
Again,
seems to be happening for you?
there are gentler poems about life at home. There's that. And I'm also doing a project. I've been sharing it with some people. I didn't bring photographs tonight, but I'm doing a book of poems. I shared one with you, Bill, I think. Poems and photographs. So I've got a friend, an artist, Paul Gentry, a wonderful artist. He's taking photographs, and I'm sitting down and just writing a poem to the photo. Sometimes it kind of talks about the image specifically. Sometimes it's just an occasion to go in another wild direction. But I'm excited about that. And boy, that is a way to write. I mean, just drop that photo down and just say, I'm going to write a poem this morning. That's it. And I mean, it's like being a student again. You know, it's like an exercise. But I've found it very fruitful, and I'm having a great time with it. I've written several poems like that. Because maybe it's also my concern about people being put off by poetry. And they're intimidated when they see a poem. They see those line breaks, like, ooh, poem. So the photograph, everyone likes an image. We are very visual people, and that establishes something. Now I know, Bill, I think we talked about this through our emails, and is that cheating? The poet should be able to write the image and do the description himself, right? Well, yes, it is kind of cheating, but so what? I'm a cheater. I understand that that is a different kind of poetry, perhaps, but I am willing to try this, and it's fine for me. So
We're
that's,
also going to help him get his photographs out there.
yes. Well, thanks, and he feels that way.
In a way that maybe he wouldn't have been able to do.
Yes. He feels very strongly about the project. We've had a lot of fun with it. So, yeah, thanks for asking. Chris?
To what extent and how do you still see the effects of your travel in your poetry? Like, how much did it influence it? For how long?
Absolutely, forever. Travel is the greatest thing in the world. I'm always, I'm always being reminded of things from China and Japan, and my wife is British, so we've been going to Europe. We've made 2 long trips to Europe now, and that's opened up a world to me as well. And I just think, it's our world. And I don't even feel like it's a foreign country sometimes. I mean, it's us. The Great Wall of China, I don't often think of it, well, that's the Chinese wall. That's their wall. I mean, that's my wall, too. I'm a human. It's part of a shared, I really do. I think of a kind of a global civilization, and I take pride in the great art of China. I was in Paris this summer, and I felt that it was this was me. This is certainly Western art, at its highest in the Louvre or walking the streets of Paris. So I don't feel alien into it. I feel that I am finding it, So I know young people, should travel, but everybody should travel. And so yes, it's constantly with me, constantly. Yeah.
Who are your favorite poets?
Yeah.
Paul Ann Peterson, Bill Siverly. Well, they're really good poets. I mean that too. I don't just read, now I'm reading widely, and Oregon has amazing poets. I've been reading very promiscuously, and there's a guy named Ed Skoog that has a wacky, crazy book called Mr. Skylight, who really impressed me, a really interesting, voice. And I go back and read narrative poets that I really enjoyed. I did this book on fishing, an anthology of fishing poems, and it was great to reread like Dick Hugo. Really read Hugo again. And how much he spoke to me, what a wonderful voice. Elizabeth Bishop, how much I appreciate her. And so it's hard. I don't really have, I have some favorite poets, and I know there are some poets I don't like. I don't really like John Ashbery. I'm sure he has a great mind, but I don't really get him. It's just me. Okay. I feel somehow, and he's very famous and wins big awards, and, so somebody must like him, I get.